adult me, that's still trying to heal all the stuff that happened. I just felt like, God, I just wish somebody would have talked to me. I wish I could have talked to somebody.
I saw the red flags, I really did, but at the time, they didn't seem red at all. They looked soft, harmless even, kind of fuchsia and almost cute. It's funny how hindsight makes everything so clear, but in the moment, you convince yourself it's nothing, that you're just overthinking it. I ignored the warnings, ignored the tension in my gut because I cared so deeply. I cared about the women, about the people who face situations like this every single day. I wanted to believe the best, not just in them, but in the whole process. Sometimes that care blinds you more than any lie ever could. When asked what the most challenging scene was to get right, my first instinct was to laugh, because honestly, all of them. Every single moment of this film felt like walking through a storm barefoot. The work I did on screen was the easy part. The camera, the lines, the performance, that was simple compared to what came afterward. Off screen, it was endless pressure, questions, emotions, and choices that blurred the line between acting and reality. The story wasn't just something I performed. It was something I lived through. Now the situation has escalated. There's talk of releasing every single text message exchanged between them. No filters, no spin, just raw receipts. The goal is to let the public decide for themselves, to let the evidence speak louder than the headlines. Every document, every timestamp, every word will be out there for the world to see. No more whisper campaigns or selective leaks, just unvarnished truth. And of course, the question that everyone's whispering behind closed doors, was there a coordinated effort to bring down Blake Lively? According to those close to the case, absolutely. 100%. It wasn't just bad luck or bad press, it was deliberate, strategic, and personal. So buckle up, fam, because this isn't just another Hollywood scandal. It's a full-blown spectacle, and I've got the best seat in the house. At the center of it all, none other than Blake Lively herself. America's golden girl, the epitome of elegance and grace, now finds herself trapped in the harsh fluorescent light of a courtroom. Gone is the effortless smile, the perfect composure. Instead, she sits frozen on a wooden bench, her eyes wide with disbelief, like someone who just realized they texted the wrong group chat at the worst possible moment. The room buzzes around her. Reporters scribbling notes, cameras flashing, lawyers whispering strategies. But she looks like she's somewhere else entirely, replaying every word, every message, every moment that led her here. And as the chaos unfolds, one can't help but wonder, is this the unraveling of a star or the rebirth of a fighter who's been misunderstood all along? Gone is the trademark cool girl grin that once seemed permanently etched onto Blake Lively's face, that effortless, camera-ready confidence that had become her signature over the years. Now, that same composure has crumbled into something raw and unfiltered. She sits in the courtroom looking nothing like the Hollywood goddess fans are used to seeing. Her perfectly manicured fingers grip the armrest like it's her final tether to reality, her knuckles pale and trembling. Each second that passes feels like an eternity as her wide, glassy eyes stay locked on the opposing lawyer, a man who stands with unnerving calm, flipping through papers that could very well hold the power to end her career. To Blake, that briefcase in his hands might as well be filled with dynamite, the kind that doesn't just explode, but annihilates everything in its blast radius. The silence in the courtroom is suffocating, thick enough to choke on. It's that kind of silence that hums in your ears and amplifies your heartbeat until it's all you can hear. You could drop a pin and it would echo. You could swear you might even catch the sound of Blake's internal screams, the silent panic reverberating behind her carefully composed face. The weight of the moment presses down on everyone in the room. Even the judge's gavel seems to hesitate before striking, as though aware of the gravity of what's unfolding. But before we plunge headfirst into this cinematic meltdown, and trust me, it's straight out of a courtroom drama, do me a solid. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. Because the deeper we dig into this scandal, the more twisted it gets. And honestly, we've all got bills to pay while the truth burns its way through Hollywood's glittering facade. Now let's talk evidence. The kind of evidence that doesn't just raise eyebrows but drops jaws. Justin Baldoni's legal team isn't just talking big. They're promising full transparency. There are text messages for every single point, the lead attorney reportedly declared with unwavering confidence. And unlike any case I've ever handled, this is the one where we're going to release everything, every message, every email, every document, all of it will be made public. No redactions, no filters, no PR spin. They're planning to launch an entire website dedicated to the case, where the public can read everything firsthand and come to their own conclusions. Their message to the world is clear: we have the receipts. According to them, the evidence doesn't just disprove Blake's allegations, it demolishes them. These documents unequivocally show there was no harassment, no retaliation, no smear campaign, the team insists. What we do have is proof that tells a very different story. It's a bold and unprecedented move, especially in an industry where secrets and NDAs are the norm. And for Blake, it's a nightmare scenario. Once hailed as America's sweetheart, elegant, witty, and unshakably composed, she now finds herself fighting to hold on to the very image that built her empire. Those who've been in the courtroom describe the tension as electric, the kind that makes every breath feel too loud. Witnesses say that Blake's usual grace has given way to visible anxiety. The once poised actress, known for her effortless charm and radiant poise, now fumbles through simple actions. Even taking a sip of water has become an ordeal. Her hands shake so much that the glass rattles audibly against the table, tiny ripples quivering across the surface like a seismograph, recording her inner collapse. At one point, she reportedly set the cup down too quickly, water splashing onto the polished wood before she even noticed. Gone is the movie star composure. In its place, pure survival mode. She's giving off major seatbelt sign just turned on, and I'm trapped in the middle seat during turbulence energy. Every muscle tensed, every blink calculated to hold back the tears threatening to spill. The gallery watches in silence, unsure whether they're witnessing a performance or a breakdown. So what caused this sudden unraveling? Why has Blake Lively, usually the picture of self-assured calm, cracked under the pressure? According to multiple inside sources, Justin's legal team has unearthed explosive new evidence, digital receipts that could do far more than tarnish her reputation. They could obliterate it completely. This all began months ago, when Blake filed a lawsuit accusing Justin of harassment and emotional distress, a bold, headline-grabbing move that seemed to place her in the moral high ground. It was a serious accusation, and Hollywood quickly split into factions. Some believed her instantly, others quietly sided with Justin, and a few chose to stay silent altogether. At the time, Blake handled the press like a pro. Cameras caught her flashing her trademark smile, brushing off the questions as if they were nothing more than irritating gnats. She exuded confidence, almost daring anyone to doubt her story. But behind the scenes, the tone was shifting. Justin's team worked quietly, methodically, pulling together screenshots, call logs, and correspondence that, if proven authentic, could turn the narrative upside down. The court filings alone hinted that what looked like a clean-cut case of harassment might actually be something murkier, a tangled mess of miscommunication, manipulation, and revenge. Now, with the hearing in full swing and every eye fixed on her, Blake's once unshakable facade is cracking under the weight of the evidence being presented. Rumors swirl that the next batch of exhibits will include not just text messages, but audio clips and emails that reveal an entirely different side to the story, one that Blake may have fought desperately to keep buried. As the legal battle intensifies, one thing is certain. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. This is a full-blown Hollywood reckoning, one that could rewrite the careers, reputations, and legacies of everyone involved. And as Blake sits frozen under the fluorescent lights, you can't help but wonder whether this is the breaking point of a star, or the painful public unmasking of a truth that was always bound to come out. Always bound to come out. But Justin didn't blink, not once. When most people would have gone silent or tried to settle behind closed doors, he did the opposite. He went nuclear. Instead of retreating, he launched a full-scale counterattack that sent shockwaves through Hollywood's elite and the national media alike, a $250 million defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. $250 million, not a typo, not a PR stunt. That's the kind of figure that doesn't just grab attention. It dominates headlines, spawns emergency board meetings, and has every entertainment lawyer in Los Angeles refreshing their inbox. It's the sort of move that says, "I'm not just defending my name, I'm reclaiming it." When asked outside the courthouse whether he planned to go after Blake Lively next, a reporter barely got the words out before Justin's cool, controlled voice cut through the noise. "Into oblivion, Megan." The clip went viral within minutes. Comment sections exploded. Half the internet gasped in disbelief. The other half applauded his audacity. Whatever side you're on, one thing became clear. This wasn't business as usual. This was a declaration of war. Inside the courtroom, the drama escalated to cinematic levels. Justin's lead attorney entered not like a man, but like a main character, as if he'd just stepped out of a high-budget legal thriller. His confidence was almost theatrical. He carried armfuls of binders, hard drives, and boxes of neatly labeled evidence, each one a potential bomb waiting to go off. The soft echo of his footsteps on the courtroom floor had an almost cinematic rhythm, deliberate, controlled, rehearsed. He wasn't there to argue, he was there to perform. Observers said the energy in the room shifted the second he placed that first thick binder on the desk. The thud reverberated through the silence like the opening beat of a war drum. Cameras flashed, pens froze midair, and every pair of eyes darted to Blake Lively. What they saw wasn't the polished red carpet queen who could charm an audience with a single glance. They saw a woman on edge. Her posture stiffened, shoulders drawn tight like she was bracing for impact. Witnesses swear she went pale, her jaw tightening as if every word the lawyer spoke hit her like a physical blow. One spectator even claimed Blake looked one gasp away from diving under the table. Justin, on the other hand, sat there like the calm eye of a hurricane, composed, steady, almost smug. The contrast between them couldn't have been starker. While Blake looked like she was fighting off a full-blown panic attack, Justin leaned back in his chair, hands folded neatly, occasionally exchanging quiet words with his lawyer. Someone joked later that he could have been sipping an oat milk latte and reading the morning paper while watching his legal team dismantle the opposing argument, one piece at a time. Then came the bombshells. One after another, relentless. The lawyer began reading from transcripts, displaying screenshots of text messages, even rolling short clips of behind-the-scenes footage. Each new exhibit chipped away at Blake's claims, and each one made her legal team look more rattled. What had been framed as harassment and emotional distress suddenly didn't match up with what was being shown. In one claim, Blake described feeling deeply uncomfortable on set, yet the footage displayed her laughing and joking with Justin between takes. The tension in the room thickened as whispers spread among reporters. One person in the gallery muttered, "This is like saying you hate pineapple on pizza and then getting caught ordering extra toppings." The courtroom chuckled softly, except for Blake's side of the room, which sat frozen. By this point, her attorneys were scrambling, flipping through their notes, objecting, whispering frantically. It was clear they were trying to regain control of a narrative that had slipped through their fingers. But Justin's lawyer didn't let up. He moved through the evidence with the calm rhythm of someone reading bedtime stories, flipping page after page while the tension mounted. Each slide on the screen felt like another nail in the coffin of Blake's version of events. And then came the quiet comment that rippled through every journalist's notes. "We're only scratching the surface of Blake's unraveling meltdown." That statement hit like a grenade. Reporters' heads shot up. If what they'd already seen was just the beginning, what was still to come? Behind the scenes, rumors swirled that the evidence vault ran far deeper than anyone expected. Private messages, production emails, even unreleased video footage that could reframe the entire story. It wasn't just about proving Justin's innocence anymore. It was about dismantling Blake's credibility piece by piece. One of the key moments came when Justin's team addressed a crucial inconsistency. If Blake Lively had truly endured, The level of harassment she described. Why did she agree to return to the film? According to production insiders, Blake had met privately with Justin to discuss her concerns, and by the end of that meeting, they had reached what both described at the time as a mutual understanding. She even praised his professionalism in emails later obtained by the defense. Then came another stunning revelation. The unfortunate part, one insider shared, is that Blake didn't actually read the original book the film was based on. She misunderstood the story's entire emotional core. What she perceived as personal offense was actually part of the character arc. That single detail reframed everything. Whispers are rippling through Hollywood like smoke from a fire that no one wants to admit is still burning. The word in every studio lot, PR boardroom, and private members club is the same. Stay away from Blake Lively's imploding drama. What started as quiet curiosity has turned into full-blown industry avoidance. Executives are steering clear. Friends are vanishing, and agents are politely declining to comment. Because in Tinseltown, loyalty might be a nice headline, but self-preservation? That's pure gold. You can always tell when a storm is truly bad in Hollywood. It's when even the loudest voices go silent. Taylor Swift hasn't dropped a single-veiled lyric, Ryan Reynolds hasn't lobbed even one of his trademark sarcastic tweets, and not a single celebrity in Blake's orbit seems eager to step into the flames to defend her. That silence is louder than any statement, and it's echoing through the industry corridors like a warning bell. The drama, insiders whisper, is sizzling hotter than a Los Angeles sidewalk in July, and it's leaving scorch marks on everyone who dares get too close. The rumor mill, of course, is grinding into overdrive. Some claim Blake sabotaged her friendships with quiet manipulation, power moves disguised as creative input. Others believe her once loyal circle is just holding their breath, waiting for the dust to settle before picking sides. And then there's the darker theory, that several of them are staying quiet not out of disinterest, but out of fear. The kind of fear that comes when lawyers start circling and subpoenas start flying. A few insiders even claim they've seen enough receipts to wash their hands of her completely. Whatever the truth, the silence surrounding Blake Lively is deafening, and it's growing heavier by the day. Meanwhile, on the other side of this messy narrative, Justin Baldoni appears to be playing his cards with perfect patience. Every time another celebrity stays quiet, his version of the story gets louder. Sources close to his team joke, half seriously, that Justin should send fruit baskets to everyone keeping their mouths shut, because the less they defend Blake, the more credibility his story gains. It's the kind of PR checkmate you can't buy, and Justin seems to know it. And here's where things get even murkier. According to multiple insiders, Blake didn't just sign on to "It Ends With Us" to act, she wanted to run the show. She allegedly pushed hard for an executive producer credit, more control over the creative direction, and of course, a significantly larger paycheck. She wanted the kind of authority usually reserved for veteran filmmakers, not first-time collaborators. When those demands were reportedly denied, the relationship between her and Justin soured almost instantly. And right on cue, not long after that tension hit its peak, came the harassment allegations. Coincidence or a calculated strike? For many in the industry, the timing feels almost too convenient. Justin's camp claims they've got receipts, texts, emails, and production notes, showing a direct connection between Blake's push for power and the legal drama that followed. It paints a picture of ambition crossing into desperation, and while no one outside those teams knows exactly what's real, perception in Hollywood is everything. Right now, that perception is tilting sharply away from Blake. Insiders describe her as increasingly isolated, friends avoiding her calls, stylists quietly backing out of commitments, and PR advisors urging her to go dark for a while. The narrative is slipping from her control, and the harder she tries to fix it, the faster it seems to spiral. If Hollywood teaches any lesson, it's that power plays are a dangerous gamble, and one wrong move can flip the entire table. And because no modern scandal is ever complete without a dash of romantic speculation, the whispers have turned personal. Reports claim Blake and Justin's chemistry on set wasn't just acting. There are alleged screenshots, a few flirty texts, complete with emojis and tone that feels just a little too intimate. Nothing illegal, but enough to make fans collectively cringe. Theories have exploded online. Did Blake catch feelings? Was there tension that blurred boundaries? Did rejection turn resentment into retaliation? Justin's team has stayed silent, refusing to feed the tabloids, which only fans the fire further. Every unanswered question becomes another conspiracy theory. Meanwhile, Blake is said to be furious behind closed doors, trapped between wanting to defend herself publicly and knowing that every word she says could make things worse. Somewhere in that chaos, she's probably wishing she could go back in time, delete a few messages, and rethink that one winky face emoji that might have started the spark that lit this entire blaze. At the end of the day, Hollywood runs on image, not truth. And right now, Blake Lively's image is flickering under the harshest spotlight of her career. A once beloved star caught in a story that's spinning faster than she can control it. Surrounded by silence, shadows, and a growing sense that this might be the role she never wanted to play. In Hollywood, nothing stays hidden forever. Secrets have a funny way of slipping through the cracks. Screenshots resurface, whispers turn into headlines, and private group chats suddenly become public evidence. What starts as a rumor can spiral into a media hurricane overnight. And right now, that storm has a name: Blake Lively. Every corner of the entertainment industry is buzzing. Studio executives are quietly canceling meetings. PR agents are whispering in hushed tones. And those once friendly co-stars? They've gone completely radio silent. Everyone knows that when the spotlight burns this hot, it's safer to step back than risk getting scorched. Because in Hollywood, you don't need to be guilty to lose everything. You just need to be in the blast radius when the bomb goes off. The real wild card in this unfolding saga is Justin Baldoni's lawyer, who seems to be teasing the audience like a master showrunner. Each week, another cryptic statement drops, hinting that more evidence is coming, and not the kind you can ignore. We're talking old production emails, private DMs, maybe even a few forgotten cameo videos that Blake probably assumed were harmless at the time. But in the court of public opinion, context is everything, and a single screenshot can rewrite the entire story. Behind the scenes, Blake's PR team is in full-blown meltdown mode. They've reportedly called in every crisis manager they can find, a rotating team of fixers straight out of Scandal. The comparison to Olivia Pope isn't lost on anyone, but unlike television, this isn't a case that can be solved with a glass of red wine and a monologue. These are high-stakes reputation triage sessions happening around the clock. Sources say Blake's team is monitoring social media 24/7, mass flagging clips, and trying to flood the internet with positive press, brand partnerships, fashion spreads, charitable sound bites, anything to drown out the growing noise. But the problem is, the internet has already chosen its narrative. And once public opinion starts rolling downhill, no PR strategy can stop the avalanche. The rest of Hollywood is watching with morbid fascination. It's the kind of drama no screenwriter could script better. Every new leak sends shockwaves through group chats and private parties in the hills. Directors, agents, and publicists are perched on the edge of their seats, popcorn in hand, waiting for the next episode of this real-life soap opera. And while the internet speculates, the silence from those closest to Blake is deafening. Ryan Reynolds hasn't tweeted a single joke, a move so out of character that fans are reading it like a statement in itself. Taylor Swift, normally the queen of lyrical vengeance, hasn't dropped even one cryptic line. Maybe she's already scribbling a heartbreak anthem in private. Or maybe she's just distancing herself until the smoke clears. Either way, the absence of their voices says more than words ever could. So where does all this leave Blake? Cornered, exhausted, in full damage control mode. Insiders claim she's been urged to keep her head down and avoid any public outbursts. No interviews, no posts, no statements. The problem? Silence only feeds speculation. Every time she doesn't speak, the internet fills in the blanks for her. Every no comment becomes a headline of its own. And now, with Justin's legal team allegedly preparing to release the receipts in carefully timed waves, it's starting to feel like a slow-motion unraveling. A net